Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Well, we are certainly going through turbulent times at the moment, aren't we? And I want to chat today about conversations that we can have in these troubling times that are constructive and helpful. I think especially in the United States right now, when there's an election year and there's so much going on with the conversation about, choices and polarization really. It's not just in the United States either, in Europe as well, that people are, I think, overwhelmed by information and they're having to make decisions about what side they take, where they stand on certain issues. And I think in doing that, it's a good thing in a way, because we become true to ourselves. We allow the true person to come out, hopefully not influenced by the media and by words and promises and situations that in reality just may not be as accurate as we think in our mind. But I think it's important that we look at the different ways that we chat with each other and how we can make it constructive. Now, we are programmed, I think, as older women to be kind of, not quiet, not sort of reticent to talk, but I think we've learned to be a stiff upper lip, the kind of, don't have to chat about everything. Let's just let people get on with things. And in a way, we're more accepting, but I think in a way, we're also more set in our ways. So when it comes to, making choices and having conversations, we actually, we're maybe not that balanced. And we'd like to be more balanced, because I think, honestly, conversation has power. Words have power. If we don't, watch our words and use conversation to build bridges rather than to tear relationships apart, I think we have even more challenges ahead. So let's talk about need for deeper conversations, because I think that the abundance of data, information, conversation online. I mean, even what I do, YouTube and on all the different channels, we tend to simplify things. We tend to crystallize them into simple concepts. And so we're influenced and polarized, by making a choice. Like, do we think this or do we think that? We need more meaningful conversations. This, by the way, is why I love our Patreon supporters group, is that we have a group of women now. There's about 800, but only 50 or so come to every one of our friendship lounges. They're every Monday, Wednesday. And we just chat about really important things at a deep level, and also just things that are going on in people's lives and how everyone's doing. But we recognize a need for deeper conversation, and this overdose of reality in turbulent times is really needing to be just kind of calm down a little bit, so we can sit down with each other. We can actually have a little chat, a little conversation. And the pandemic, of course, didn't help either, putting us in a situation where we had to work from home. We were just tired. Many got sick and lost people. It was exhausting, and I think that's sort of gave us a bit more of an insular reality. But I'm encouraging us to get out into the world and with a tribe behind you. Now, 60 and Me is a tribe, I think, and the nicest possible way, in that we don't actually have any what's the word? I don't have any position. I don't talk about any position one way or the other. We have been a political free zone for 11 years, and that's how we will always continue. People may want to interject their thoughts or comments about their beliefs, and that's, done in a tasteful way. That's totally fine. But we don't really understand or agree with any kind of polarization here on 60 and Me. There's other places you can do that, but not here. So having a tribe behind you, having a group of people who are just like you, fundamentally empathic. We care. We actually do care about each other. And I don't think of the 250,000 people who watch 60 and Me on YouTube, there's more than, I don't know, maybe 10,000. Maybe there's some crazy number who are actually, good, caring, loving people who want to be kind, who see that as a priority in life. And because everyone that I talk to anyway is just so genuine, and they really want to help each other in any possible way. If you go to the comments in YouTube and all the other channels, the website as well, Facebook, you'll see just genuine, I understand what you're going through. That must be really hard. Hang in there. You can do this. Those types of people don't have to say that. They don't have to leave a note on a random website called 60 and Me. They just get to, they live their life. And I think that the fact that we'll do it is really, really important. And I think that how we invite people into new conversations is something that we can work on. Now, if you have a friend if you have a person in your life, you may consider them a friend from way back, or you may just have made the friend, but they have different beliefs about certain things than you. It could be any number of things, and I won't be specific because I don't want to polarize the chat, because I think that we know what they are. We know what the big issues are, and we know how they're represented in the conversation. And I think it's really important that we start, having conversations that are starting from a place of agreement. I think this is the really important thing. So say, for example, I'll take this one because we're fairly neutral. Well, we're fairly neutral because I don't have young children anymore, but education. We all want the best education for our children and our grandchildren and for generations to come. We want them to be well equipped to cope in the world and to be functioning in a happy way. Having we talked about this in another video about like education about finances, about mental health, about getting on with people who are different, about culture changes, artificial intelligence, so that our education is sensitive to the environment that the child is in and addresses those kinds of social needs. But I think that we all agree. So if we start there with a conversation, that's the place then we can have a deep conversation with someone who maybe thinks that you should have a private education as opposed to public education. Now, that's a really big topic for a lot of people, and it's one that they will, climb up and argue, to the end. Climate change is another one. Climate change is a very big one where there's a very, very big community of people that think we're doing things with the planet that are harmful and would like to see some changes to the way we process, garbage, the way that there's specific things. Those are not where we need to go with this, in my opinion. I think that we don't need to go with the specifics of what should be taught at school or what should be included in your, recycling strategy. It's all about, just choosing the thing that you agree on and then working. So you can say to the person, look, we both agree on this. Let's have a conversation about the things that we have a different opinion about, but let's not let that overshadow the fact that we both want the best, or we both want a healthy planet for our grandchildren, or we all want whatever. So you can think of the topics. And even, I mentioned it briefly, even with religion, that you may have a very, very passionate religion that you believe in, but that there are other people who also feel passionately about their faith. And I think not trying to argue the differences, the words, the whatever, it's the actual heart of it, that you're both searching for the same thing. You're both looking for the same thing. And sincerity is, I think, a good place. Now, one thing I should look at my notes here is that you may need to keep a comfortable distance. I mean, there may be people that you have a disagreement with or you think differently about something, that just being close to them will go, you just cannot do it. So you might want to write it down. You might want to send a message. I guess email is okay. I can't think of any other way to do it. Although the thing about email, and I'll warn you up front, or you don't need me to warn you, is that you can put stuff in email that you wouldn't say to the face. But if you do it in a way that is keeping this strategy of kindness first in the messaging, to send a message and say, I think we have this similar goal, this similar belief, but we have a slight difference about this and this. But my friendship with you is much more important than that difference we have. So let's be friends. And or not. I think that's the thing, is that we have to gently inquire with them as to the background, their cultural perspective, just gently inquire. You don't have to attack. You can just be very inquisitive and curious and just want to know more. The other thing I think super important is when you're talking to someone, either on email or text or whatever, and in person, is to listen. We have this tendency, a lot of people have this tendency, I do sometimes, I own up, is that, when someone's talking, you're positioning your response. It's they're talking about their thing and then whatever they're doing, and you're just not even listening to them. You're just thinking, okay, I need to tell her that, and this is my points, disagree with that, I need to mention that. And then you don't even listen to what they're saying. This happens a lot. So try to just leave a space in conversation where you just stop for a second and you listen. And you hear, and you understand as best you can, because it may be very different than your perspective. And then you say, even say to that person, okay, that's really helpful for me to understand that. Let me just, give me a second. I want to just respond to that. And let them wait, because they've already done their thing. They've already talked, they've said their thing, but just give them a minute, give some space. And then you can shape your answer. You know what your answer is anyway. You don't need to prepare it or to, so listen with the best intentions, You know, always have the goodness in your heart that it's going to be a good conversation, that these are troubled times, that we're all a bit broken. We're all a bit overwhelmed. We're all a bit scared, and it's natural. But if we keep to our core values as at the heart of everything, and then just show kindness, listening skills, generosity, empathy, we can have a good conversation. And I think we can then, you know, in these troubling times, have meaningful conversations and honest conversations. I think that's the thing too. I mean, I'm not saying that you've got to like make it up so that you can get on with someone and lie about what you believe. You've got to be honest, but do it in a way that's kind. That's my message. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for being so kind and such a beautiful presence in my life. Join our Patreon group if you want to learn some of these skills that we're talking about here. It's all the time. And just know how much I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Go out in the world and sparkle and shine and just be your beautiful self. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, take care.